A little while ago on my subs only site, I'll turn off the music. On my subs only site, I wrote a little thing. It was just like 5 tips for new streamers. Who are we picking German? It was just 5 tips for new streamers. So I figured I would talk about them a little on my stream. Oh, we could call this Pillow Talk with Poki. I mean, I got a pillow, so I just figured that might work. I wrote 5 tips are be a really hot girl. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, let's start with numero uno. So if you're just starting off, don't feel the need to splurge on an expensive setup. It is really not necessary. When I first started streaming, I was literally streaming on a desktop that I bought off of Kijiji for like 250 bucks. That's it. And I had 1 monitor. That's generally how it starts, you know? You do your best with the setup that you have, but you don't need to have like a $2,000 PC, 3 monitors setup. That's not necessary. How I kind of did it is just I started with what I have. However, you do need good internet. And then as I saw my stream grow, I thought, oh, okay, this is really something worth investing in. But you don't want to spend like $3,000 on a setup just because you think that's what you need for streaming, and then maybe your stream doesn't even end up really being that successful. You know what I mean? Sometimes people do like too much pre-planning for streaming in the wrong areas. It is good to do your research, plan, see what you like, figure out what kind of stream you want. That's all good, but invest your time and money properly before you stream. Did you have a webcam when you started? Yes. I think a webcam is a good idea for most people unless it makes you uncomfortable. As in, if your personality literally like starts to diminish because you are so nervous about your webcam, then it's probably not a good idea to have one. But I do think that it adds a lot to a lot of streams. Okay, 2. This might be something that's like a bit of my personal opinion. If you disagree, that's fine. But I really dislike seeing smaller streams play games like League, Dota, whatever, while Skyping with other people. This might sound weird, but like, what I mean by Skyping with other people is I mean like in an extremely casual manner. Of course, you'll watch some of like Sky Williams' videos where he's playing with like a Donkey and his girlfriend, and like that kind of thing is really funny, and if that was on a stream, people would obviously watch that. But that's not what I mean. I mean like when you're just hanging out with your friends, like and just playing together, and like the stream just ends up being a bunch of inside jokes that your viewers aren't really gonna understand. On top of that, it makes it a bit awkward for you as the streamer to interact with your chat when you know that your friends are hearing you over Skype. Like sometimes it puts a streamer in an awkward position, and I feel like it creates a bit of a barrier between the streamer and the viewer. If your friends are really funny and they really add to the stream, then that's fine. But the majority of the time, like, your friends are just your friends. You know, you got a couple inside jokes, you do whatever. Like, you guys are just hanging out. Streaming that kind of thing is not the most enjoyable shit for someone to watch. Sorry, I'm sorry. You just have to remember that as a smaller streamer or streamer that's just getting started, you get people to stick around by getting them to like really like you personally and by captivating their attention, and that's really hard to do when you're focused on talking to other people in like your Skype call. Okay, 3rd, this one's a big one. A really just, it's a big one, man. It's like a corky. It's like probably the biggest tip that I could give. Quirky, big one alt. Don't make it about the money. I've seen way too many people go into it simply for the money. And they start off with that type of mentality before ever actually streaming and seeing whether they even like streaming as a hobby. They just go into it straight up like, I plan on being this successful and making this much money. That's really not how it works. And I promise you, for the majority of the successful streamers that you'll see, they'll tell you that they started streaming and they didn't expect the success at all. It just happens. That's because when you go into it expecting to make money, you have this really negative mindset and you get disappointed easily. You'll be sad if your view count is low, which is absolutely normal. That's how everybody starts. For example, one of my friends asked me to look over his Twitch channel banners and stuff because he wanted to start streaming. So I did. And he had already set up like a really long bio section, a donate button explaining why people should donate and kind of like his employment situation and all of this stuff. And I talked to him and I was like, have you ever like even streamed? And he was like, well, like I sort of streamed like this one time, but then I stopped because like I didn't really have any viewers. And then he like literally spent hours creating this like giant layout, including like really elaborate banners and long descriptions as to why people should donate and stuff. And I was like, it's way too obvious that you're doing this for the money, you know? And the thing is, okay, for me, I literally did not have Twitch banners until like 2 months into streaming, until people were like, why the fuck do you still not have banners, you know? I just think that things should really come with time. And like, you just have to primarily start streaming because you enjoy it. You enjoy interacting with people over the internet through your chat. You enjoy playing these video games. You enjoy trying to be entertaining. That is the first step, and that is the most important step. Once you've got that, people will start asking about your donate button. People will start wanting to support you, and that's when you give those people that thing. All right, so número 4 is learn from other streamers, but try to maintain some originality. So some people will tell you to be original, like you have to be yourself, you have to be truly yourself or else streaming is just not going to work out. And some people will tell you to replicate what you see because if that's successful, you should be successful, right? But the truth is, you have to do a bit of both. For example, you should do some things that you see other streamers do properly. For example, setting up your Twitch alerts in a good manner. For the longest time ever, I had my Twitch alerts as like a window capture with like the green chroma key, which is just the worst idea ever. Do things that will help your stream be of higher quality, more professional, whatever it may be. The kind of things that you shouldn't copy are like very specific ideas or personas. For example, if some random guy starts streaming on the Korean server in a cow suit playing Master Yi, how many people do you think will watch him? Probably not many, not because that's not a funny or perhaps enjoyable thing to watch, but because why would someone watch you over watching Cowsep? Anyways, yeah, of course it's completely okay to copy someone's like positive attributes. If they're really bubbly, then sure, be bubbly on your stream. But just remember that full-on copying someone makes no sense, because why would someone watch a replica of something when they can see the real thing, you know what I mean? Tip numero 5. That's 5 in French. Talk a lot. Like, talk a lot, man. That was one of the first really important tips that I got when I started streaming. So, people watch streams obviously for entertainment. If you're just, especially if you're just starting out, it's so much harder to capture someone's attention when you're just starting out. And that means that it's usually much harder for you to maintain an audience as opposed to someone who's already built a fan base. Because of this, you want to be talking a lot while streaming to keep your viewers' attention. While I'm streaming, usually, like if I'm in like a normal mood or whatever, almost any thought that comes through my head, I'll just talk about it. Like, talk about the game you're playing, talk about what you want to do in the game, talk about what you did, talk about what you did wrong, talk about your dog, talk about literally anything. Respond to questions, ask chat questions. That interaction is so important. Interaction and just entertainment in general. I check out smaller streams very, very often, and I see a lot of people who just don't talk enough. They kind of just sit there and play and just hope that, you know, people just like come and chill and whatever. And it's not that people won't come and chill, they could, but you will be much more successful if you put a lot of effort into getting people into your stream and keeping them there. So remember that at the end of the day, it's really all about giving people a reason to watch you. My greatest piece of advice is to ask yourself, if you, just a random viewer on Twitch, would you watch your own stream? Why or why not? You know, literally list reasons that someone may want to watch your stream. And remember to be brutally honest when it comes to this, and think of it from the point of view of someone who knows nothing about you, nothing except what they see on your stream. And this will relate to something that I am asked far too often. That's just like, do you think people watch you because you're cute? Do you think people watch you because you're a girl? If I were to do this activity with myself, reasons people would watch me is, are my looks on that list? Sure, they could be. They could also not be. Some people think I'm hella ugly, therefore they won't watch me. Is the fact that I'm a girl on that list? Sure. But the thing is, that is not even close to all the things that are on that list. I stream. I've been streaming for a long time. I speak French. I speak English. I try very hard to interact with other streamers, their fan bases. I interact with chat a lot. I'm higher elo than like the average, etc., etc. Just try to come up with things that could attract people to your stream. Guys, don't let your memes be memes. If you want to stream for the right reasons, if you want to make people happy, if you want to entertain, if you really have a passion for video games, it will work out. I promise you that.